Okay, so by request, someone brought up some questions on bear bags. It's a great topic. I haven't covered it. I want to start off. I made a list because I forget everything. Everybody knows that. So the first thing on the list I want to take care of is park rules. If the park says to hang your food, like the Smokies, you should be hanging your food. If the park says, to use the bear boxes, which are provided by the park, doesn't cost hikers anything or campers, use the bear boxes. And, the park rules come first. Follow the rules, everybody follows the rules. The simple thing is leashing your dog. Follow the rules, everybody else benefits, and that goes into the category with your impact on the others. So these rules are set in place so that the others around you are getting the impact that you're doing on a positive, not a negative factor. Because if you leave food laying around or anything and you create what I call a yogi, which is a bear that will now come after food, they won't stop. So of course the bear will have to be dealt with eventually. It's sad. So follow the park rules, do that. Move on now. There was asked about the bear boxes, bear canisters, the big plastic ones. Some areas require those. You should use them. That's it. If you don't want to use them, you shouldn't be in their area. It's that simple. Bear bags for hanging. There's so many different types of bear bags that'll drive you nuts. I recommend whatever you own, you make sure that it will pretty much mask all odors. And if it doesn't, use something like a heavy mill sealable bag inside as a liner to get rid of any other odors. But you shouldn't have any open packaging inside your food bag. That's it. The only thing that should be open, maybe tortilla wraps, because you only grab one there, but that's in its own bag, and that's going inside your food bag. That's supposed to be pretty well odor proof. So we'll try moving on a little bit more. The next item is food wrappers. So again, you shouldn't be having odors anywhere. So if you eat a candy bar and you have that wrapper in your hand, you definitely should not finish it. You never put away food that isn't finished. You're a hiker, you eat your food. So you have an empty wrapper every time. Take that wrapper, if it's just in your daytime, it's out of your side pouch. You keep a small, sealable Ziploc or whatever bag you have that'll seal up good. And you put that wrapper immediately in that bag and you seal it, and you have no odors. You never want open wrappers inside your side pouch, because that's just going to bring in mice and rats, and they're going to chew through that, and then you're not going to have a side pouch, and you're not going to like that. So make sure to do that. Whether you're having lunchtime or dinner time or whatever, you're having large meals, your trash bag should be right out. That should be a separate sealable bag all by itself. That's your large daily large meal trash bag. So if you're getting packages of chicken, if you're getting your candy bars, if you got combos, I eat mostly Little Debbie stuff and this, that, and the other candy bars. I'll eat grandma cookies. Everybody knows I eat crazy stuff that's garbage. But those bags immediately go into the large trash bag. I have my large trash bag right here. I just ate dinner. And you want to make sure those odors are taken care of. And with the hanging, before I jump forward, and so I wrote all this down, you're hanging odors to get them away so that animals don't come to you. Well, don't forget, if your kitchenware isn't clean and spotless and shiny, including your spoon, you should be hanging it. It's that simple. Some people use a knife on trail. I use a knife, and I cut food for like my first year of hiking. Then it was brought to my attention, so you're cutting food and then you're putting your knife back in your pouch. I was like, yeah. I was like, well, you have odors on there. I was like, oh yeah, duh. Now my knife and the inside of my knife pouch now smells, have the odor of spam, so it would attract animals. So I no longer use a knife. I don't use a knife for food at all. If I do anything, I use my long-handled spoon. And my spoon, my cooker, my fuel, my cooker pot is all in its own 1-gallon bag. It's actually right here. So this is how I handle my food bag right here. My sealed bag for my spoon, my cooking pot, and my fuel. So that always stays in its own odor-proof bag. Again, and then for a food bag, I actually use a 2.5-gallon hefty zip bag. That's what I'm using right now. And of course, my trash bag is a 1-gallon zip bag. It's a Sure Fresh bag. Trail Angel got it for us. It's actually a better bag than Ziploc. Pups food for dogs, right here. This is inside a bag. So I have this cinch bag, and I have it like this because the dog food is actually kind of sharp and it may cut the plastic lined bag. So this helps with that. It gives it an extra strong layer. It doesn't move around as much. So again, I use another 2.5 gallon bag for Pup's bag. All right, there's her food right there. And then my day trash bag should be right here. So I'm not making this stuff up. This is how I hike. So there's my day trash bag right there. And in the evenings, usually, or the early mornings, I'll transfer this trash into my large trash bag. Takes care of all my orders. And then the pouch I'll put in my, my calories for snacks. Usually around 1,000 calories, 800 to 1,000 calories in my side pouch for easy snacks. So that's how I handle that. And this is a big no-no right here. Like, I have this open combos. So I always either I finish this or I'll roll this up nice and tight. And because my food bag has no open wrappers, it's a rule I never break. Generally, right here, I should have had this out, I apologize. Right here I'll have a few extra Ziploc bags in my top of my pack they call the brain. And so here's a small one right here. This is perfect. It's extra weight, I don't care. I don't take any chances with food odors. So I'm putting that combo in there. You could technically take the combos out of the bag and throw them in there and then throw away that bag, but then I'd be dirtying my scent bag. So now this has been sealed up. Now I can put this inside my large food bag. And when I hang, I usually end up hanging my backpack, and it's a pain in the butt. I'll take Pup's lead. I'll try to do a video for everybody, and I down pack everything that's I can possibly take out of my pack, because when you're doing a proper hang and you really gather your stuff, any odors, and especially with Pup, we're talking right here, this is 2.5, so we're probably talking almost 4 or 5 gallons if I was fully resupplied. And that's what you really should be hanging. I mean, it's pointless to hang your food and not hang your odors. So odors is more of an issue with me than anything else, and I take care of that. I don't care how many Ziploc bags I have. That's how I do it. What else do we got here? Park rules we covered, hanging, bear boxes, food theft. Food theft happens on trail. Sorry. I've heard it from other hikers. I've never had it to myself. So it does happen. It's sad, but it does happen. So, keep in mind, if you have expensive bags, they may come up missing one day, which is horrible. Covered food thefts, odors, garbage, cookware, and again, your impact on others. I left this on here. How you handle your food does impact everybody around you and everybody in the future, because if you're leaving food laying around, or I'm leaving food around, I shouldn't say you or anybody. This is all hypotheticals. We're talking. So when I say you, I don't mean you directly. People that leave things laying around, you're going to get animals and coons. That's why most of these parks have so many coon issues. People are leaving so much food out. But I've been on trail and I've walked past people at 6 a.m. and they cook their dinner. They never wash their pot. The pot has odors on it. They're in a hammock. They're right underneath the food is right underneath their hammock. They have their entire food bag opened up, and you can smell the food walking by yourself, let alone a bear. And, you're just asking for trouble for yourself and for others that's going to be in that area in the future if an animal learns that we are a target for food. So that pretty much covers everything. If anybody else has any questions on this topic, feel free to ask. But a lot of times I don't hang. I'll admit it. There's not, Florida doesn't have a lot of options. So the only thing I can do is, of course, I use a hefty bag. The lighter one I had at the beginning of the year didn't hold up from Dollar General, so I'm back to a heavy one, the one I found on the highway. So what I do, again, in odors, everything's sealed up. I'm not recommending anybody do this at all. This is a risk that I do, and I'm not saying anybody should do this. This is how I do it. I'm responsible for me and no one else. So you need to make your own decisions. What I do is, now that I have all of my odors inside this bag right here, and this is a very thick mail bag, everything is in sealed bags so to get as least amount of odor as possible. And I twist the bag This is inside my backpack, keep that in mind. So I've sealed the bag, I've twisted it, it's inside my backpack, and then I cinch my entire backpack tight and I close the lid. So the chances of an actual odor coming from my tent is so minimal, it's insane. I've had one issue in 2019 in the middle of the night where a pup got me up because something was going on. She just nudged me. She usually doesn't bark at all. She's not supposed to. And there was something inside my tent. I don't know what it was, but it was pushing on the tent. It was like 1 or 2 a.m. and I leaned over and I was half unconscious, but I just completely just wailed it with my hand. It hurt like heck. I don't know what it was. It could have been a stray dog. It could have been a coon. It could have been a bear. It could have been a deer sniffing, or I don't know. So, but things, no matter what, are going to come to your tent, and you got to be ready for those situations. I still keep my bear spray, my knife, right up by my head zone inside the case, so it's safety. The safeties are on, so that way if there's an incident in the middle of the night, Lord behold, you have to do something. But don't spray your bear spray inside your tent. It might be the biggest mistake of your life. Hope this helps everybody. If you want me to cover anything in detail, just let me know, or just ask in the comments below.